What is up, Starseeds? It's Sid, and today we are going to be talking about collective energy. Like, what are the levels? Like, there's the universe, and then there's individual souls, and all of this stuff in between. How does the energy get broken down from we are all one to we are all individuals? Broad subject, but let's get into it. And I really don't think it's going to be super long. It's going to be a quickie, but a goodie and an important one. And something that, you know, take what resonates and leave what doesn't, because I am just another human like you right now. So who really knows? This is just from my experience and my understanding as someone who taps into people's Akashic records pretty frequently, and someone who just naturally picks up on like the basic surface level things from people as I'm walking down the street, not getting too in depth, but I pick up on certain things, and then when people want readings from me, I can pick up on a lot more because they're kind of asking me to, you know? So anyways, this is my perspective, and we all have our own, but this is a section of my theory of the universe. In case you guys don't know, I believe in a version of heaven and hell, like vibrations. We feel the energy we gave off in our lives, and then reincarnation, because I do think we all have multiple lives. I believe we're also living other lives right now because our energy is in multiple places, because we're energy, and like I already said, there is this one all. So let's get into kind of these layers, I guess we could call them, of energy, of collective consciousnesses. So yeah, the universe in general is obviously like the greatest all that we can perceive. Some people say the multiverse. I just prefer to call it like the universe. That's everything. If it is a multiverse, like I believe there's different pockets of this universe, and sure, I believe in the multiverse, but when I say the universe, I mean like all of it, everything. And then of course I perceive it as like super clusters of galaxies, right? So there's the universe, there's these super clusters, there's solar systems, and all of that. But so those are the biggest things that we can perceive, are these big, you know, super clusters of galaxies, and then the groups, and then the galaxy, like we're in the Milky Way right now. And if you go to our group, there's, you know, Andromeda Galaxy and all these other ones. And so honestly, each solar system, each galaxy, each cluster, they all have a collective consciousness. Everything that you can group into a category is a collective consciousness, even if it's just simply saying all of these tomatoes. There's a collective consciousness of the tomato plant species, okay? So there's all of these different group collective consciousnesses. There's group collective consciousnesses of all women on Earth, all men on Earth, all people who live in the United States, all people who live in South Africa, all people who live in Italy, and like all of these different collective consciousnesses. There's collective consciousnesses of all the medicine women and all the medicine men. And then there's, you know, the spirit, Mother Ayahuasca, all of these different animal species, bug species, all of those. So there's all of these different collective consciousnesses. But in terms of energy, this is what we all want to hear. We can have past lives with people. We have lives right now with people, maybe even that we know in this life as well. So there's these soul families, okay? There's collective consciousnesses, and then there's soul families, star families, kindred spirits, soulmates, you might want to call them. People who choose to keep incarnating with each other life after life, because they're friends, because they like each other, because they have karma, all of the above. So there's these star families and soul families. And it's also not like you're only a part of one, you know what I mean? Because think about in your life as a human. I always compare things to life as a human because that's what I have to compare it to. right? So in our life, you know family on your mom's side and your dad's side, you have family, you have coworkers, you have family friends. Sometimes you might know people like, oh, they're my coworker, but they're actually my friend's aunt, and you know them two different ways. Sometimes that happens. Or sometimes you know your family and your family doesn't know your coworkers, or something like that. Those are two different groups of people, and you're a part of both of those groups. You're a part of these people. You know them one way, you know them a different way. It's like that in star families too. You can, your family, you might have star family who's your blood family right now, and you might have star family who's a group of friends. I know that's how it is for me. I know my parents from some past lives, and my brother, and then I know some of my friends from past lives and other lives too, in parallel lives. So it's like you're part of multiple different star families. I don't want people to think that there's only one and it's like, oh, I was Syrian in a past life, so Syrian people are my star family. That's not really how it works, because probably you've been a lot of places and you aren't with those same people life after life after life all the time. Sometimes you might be, usually it's the majority of the lives, but you're going from place to place. Like, your star family is not like a specific group of extraterrestrials. Like, you have star family who are so many different groups of extraterrestrials. It's not about the species, it's about the souls, okay? And sure, it's totally valid to say, well, I have star family who are Syrians or something. Yes, like, you do. And as a human, it's easy to just categorize it as that. And that's totally fine. I just want to say that because, I mean, I do that. But it's like your star family you can meet on Earth. And maybe you know that the people you have the closest ties to are on Sirius. That's cool. But I just wanted to clarify that, like, they might not be Syrians. And maybe you know them as Syrians, but maybe you know them on Earth right now. They're incarnated, a sliver of them. Maybe they're in the Pleiades or something right now, So I wanted to throw that out there. But so you have star families, soul families that you are very close to that you could call soulmates. And then you get down to possibly twin flames if you're into that. Maybe you and someone else were like one person and have shared past lives together. I know for twins on Earth that I know in my current life, they have had so many of the same past lives, almost as if they were maybe even one person. I don't know. I really don't know, but it is a possibility. Maybe they were just best friends in these past lives, so they literally had the same past lives. Like, say they both had lives in Valpecula, and they've both had lives as Andromedans, and they did similar things. They were both doing this job. They both had a family that looked something like this. Were they the same person, or did they just live super similar past lives? It remains up for debates, but that is something that's super cool to look into. So the twin flame thing, it is a definite possibility, but I think most of y'all know how I feel about that word and how I feel about that topic. I don't want to give my power to it because it can just be too destructive, because we are whole ourselves. We chose to put our energy into this body right now, so that's what we got to focus on. So there's the soul group, soul family, twin flames, and then there's you now. Also, going back to the twin flame thing real quick, there's your higher self and you in other places right now. So I've said before that I do believe that I have a life as an Antarian and or Andromedan being right now as well, because I've seen my face, I've looked myself in the eye, and that is me currently there. And I know when I'm doing super important stuff, or if I'm on a mission in that life, I know it, because I'm like, I gotta get to sleep. Man, I got stuff to do in Andromeda right now. Or I'll wake up and I'll be like, wow, that was wild. Doing something rebellious and important over there. So I know that's happening right now. We are all doing that. And I'm sure my energy is other places too. But I know for sure that my two main lives, most of my energy is right here on Earth and in Antares / Andromeda. I'm sure it's slivers of it, remnants is other places as well. But I chose to put most of my energy into those two places. So I guess you could call that other person my twin flame, if that's what twin flames are. Like that's my soul in another body currently. That's where the rest of my energy is. I don't really care if my energy is in someone else on earth right now. Like that is cool. Just like it is cool that my energy is in Andromeda or Antares, but it's like I don't need to, like, how weird would that be? Could I even meet that person? She seems so far away. Like that would just be so weird. So I don't know if other humans on earth that I do or don't know are me, but it's like we're all one at the end of the day, so I don't really care to know that or not. The universe, star family, twin flames, individual soul, Sydalexandria right now. You watching this right now, yourself. That's the levels of how energy, consciousness, our souls go, from what I believe. Yeah, it's really not that complicated. There's lots of different weird terms you can use to describe certain things, like collective consciousnesses. Like I said, like everything, every category, it has a collective consciousness. There's a consciousness, a collective consciousness of everyone who lives in Michigan. Like there's a collective consciousness of everyone who has arched eyebrows. There's a collective consciousness, like you can have a collective consciousness of literally anything. Anything you think of, there can be a collective consciousness for. And obviously, some things hold more power than other things. The collective consciousness of people with arched eyebrows does not matter as much as the collective consciousness in the galactic center, the collective consciousness of everyone in our Milky Way galaxy, because a sliver of everyone's energy is there in that collective consciousness. That matters more than the arched eyebrows. But just so you have an example of something, the first thing I could think of. And like I said, all animal species have a collective consciousness. They have star family and soul family and past lives and parallel lives and future lives too. Plants, you could have been a plant in a past life. You could have been an animal in a past life. You could be a plant or an animal right now. That is totally possible, in case you guys were wondering. I've seen it. It's very common. Yeah. If you guys have any questions along the lines of this topic, if you want me to dive into it more, definitely let me know. But I've just been wanting to do a video giving my explanation of kind of, there's the universe, there's galaxies, there's solar systems, there's like, and I feel like that's totally different than the group collective consciousnesses and star family and twin flames and individual soul, but it's like, in my mind, it's kind of all one and the same thing. But thank you so much for watching. I'm sorry if I rambled, but this is a very broad and large topic. So I hope that's okay. I love you guys and peace out.